Oh, it's raining.
Oh, you got your camera out? What you do?
Make another vlog.
Oh, you're back to the vlog?
Oh yeah.
All right, bet.
Oh yeah. What's up, guys?
They help me with my mortgage. They can help.
Hate when that happens.
9801.
Hate when that happens. We listen to like a good song and then you just like accidentally hit the button that changes the station and it just like ruins your mood. We're gonna get back to that mood. Okay, we're there. All right, so back. What's up? So I fell pretty behind on making videos. Like the whole YouTube channel thing kind of just like fell behind the wayside, and that has left like a gaping hole of creativity in my life. And you know you have those things in your life where you know that you should be doing them and that it would be good for you, and like you want to do it, but for like some dumb reason that's in our minds, like we just like can't bring ourselves to do those things. Yeah, that was one of those. What have I been up to? Well, I'm a senior college, and kind of at that point in my life where I'm just trying to graduate, you know? And yeah, if you're a senior in college, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, you're just trying to make it. Yeah, we're gonna start the videos back up, and I feel really good about it though because I have an actual plan. I'm planning on like once a week making a vlog, and then once a week I'm going to be creating content that I think that people will enjoy, that I think that people can benefit like spiritually from, and that's kind of like the whole point of the reason why I made this channel in the first place. So I gotta get on it. Now, at this very moment, I needed to get off campus. Like, I'm someone, like, I get stir crazy, and when I'm inside on a rainy day like today for too long, I have to get out. But there's not really many places that I can just go and do nothing somewhere, and so one of my ways to get off campus is to just come to the car wash. Like, you're probably thinking like, what? Yeah, so anyways, like at this place right here, I have this membership where I can show up and get, I have like unlimited amount of car washes for like the month. So like I pay a fee and then I get it. These guys are probably like, yo, what's this guy doing here in the middle of the rain? But I'm bored, so that's what I'm doing here. Also, I like coming here just because like it's like a party when you come here. Like, there's like a bunch of lights and everything. And also, if you know anything about me, you know that I love Spanish guitar music. So like, yeah, I'm just gonna jam like real quick. I just discovered this song yesterday and I love it. Best part right here. It's hilarious. Every time I come here, I just get lit, like by myself. Like that is like, man, I'm ridiculous. All right, yeah. So before I started to have a little bit too much fun there, I was saying that when I started going to college, like I knew that I wanted to. Like I knew that I was being called into ministry, but in terms of like, I feel like that when we start college, we don't really know exactly where we're gonna go. You're kind of in this time of grind and hope that I get a job, or like hope that I can find something. It's like you're in this tunnel and you're not really sure where it's gonna come out. And that's kind of been my life for the last 4 years. Like study, like grind, prepare, and then just waiting to kind of see what happens. But a new development of my life is that now I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and the fact that I know where my life is going for the next 7 years, basically. So here's what happened. As some of you know, I'm going to school to study theology, meaning that I'm going to go into ministry, and the traditional route is to graduate from my school and then you go be a pastor. So kind of what my school does is that your senior year, they do interviews. So basically local conferences, regions of the country. You have like a president over the region of all of the churches around there, and so they come to our college and they interview all of the graduating seniors. It's kind of like the NFL draft, but for pastors. So this happened in September. I kind of went into the interviews like not really knowing like what was gonna happen, like if I was gonna get hired, who was gonna hire me, you know, because like the 4 biggest regions or like the that came were the Georgia Conference, Tennessee Conference, North and South Carolina, those are combined, and then the Florida Conference. I was really nervous about it. I had like this resume and everything, never made a resume before, and I was pretty nervous. Shout out to my family because they were all praying and they even all fasted the Saturday before my interviews. They prayed that God would speak extremely clearly to me in terms of like where he wanted me to go. I had 4 interviews that day scheduled. They're all before noon. I was so nervous I just didn't even eat breakfast. The conference that I really kind of wanted to work for was kind of like the most well-known out of the 4 for just kind of like being the best one. The reason is that the other 3 conferences I really had no idea about any of them, and I had heard a lot of this one that was really good, that like, you know, like the best go there or like whatever. Anyways, when I went into the interview for like, you know, like the best one, it went really well. Like I really connected with the people, but like there's just like this is how I would describe it, is if you guys know anything about music, there's something called dissonance. What dissonance is that when, like, let's say you play 3 notes that go well together, but let's say that like in that chord that you're playing, there's like 1 or 2 notes that don't belong. It creates dissonance, and it's like, ugh, like it just doesn't sound good. And that's kind of how I felt internally throughout that whole interview. From the outside, everything looked really good, and I was like, man, these guys like me, I like them, they're cool. But at the same time, like I just had this internal, oh, like I don't know. That was kind of difficult for me to wrestle with. So then I went to the next interview, and we're not even gonna talk about that one. And then I went to the one, so basically this interview was with the Carolina Conference. I knew nothing about the Carolina Conference. I walked in, and it didn't start off the way I wanted to. Once I kind of like really connected with them, like I have felt a really, really good vibe with these guys. And remember, in the middle of this interview, it was going well, and then all of a sudden, like I blinked, and all of a sudden I blinked and I saw an image like in my head. Like it wasn't a thought of my own, like it was like put in there by something or by someone. I saw this huge neon sign. It was like a big sign that you would see in Vegas, like trying to attract people to come into the venue, and it was huge. It was a big rectangular sign. On the outside, it was green and yellow like light bulbs all along the outside, and they're flashing. And then on the inside of the sign, well, what the word said, it was all in neon pink. What the sign said was big capital letters, yes. And underneath the sign, there was flashing arrows all pointing towards the guys that I was like interviewing with. It was in the split of a second. I opened up my eyes, I was like, what the heck was that? Man, was that God? I didn't think of that. Like it literally felt like, you know how like how some people joke about like Cupid's arrow, like you get shot with Cupid's arrow. I feel like sometimes that's how God will speak to me very strongly about certain things, that I feel like I'm just like hit with like something. And this is exactly what had happened. So I came out of the interview like, man, like I wonder if that's it. But I really wasn't for sure because I didn't know anything about Carolina. The first conference, like the one that was most popular, they called me back for a second interview the same day. I went in, I kind of like told my testimony, told my story about like how I, you know, became a Christian, and at the very end, you know, they started telling me what it would be like to work in their conference. And I remember in my head, I started to fantasize about like working there, like, oh man, like maybe I could do this. And then all of a sudden, like I blinked again and I saw another image. It's like if someone took the corner of a piece of paper, like of note paper, like tore it in half, and then it was in black ink, and it was just in lowercase letters, N-O period. Okay, that's crazy. As soon as I walked out of that interview, the Carolina Conference, they called me again and they're like, hey, we want you to come back for a second interview. And by this point, it's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I hadn't eaten anything. I'm starving. I was like, all right, yeah, like I can come. So I go back into the interview, and usually the second interview is when conferences will ask you like the tough questions, like, you know, let's say, you know, this happens in your church, how would you deal with it? Or when that happens, or this happens, how would you personally deal with it? And so that's kind of what I was expecting. So I walk into the interview and I sit down, and I'm kind of like trying to mentally prepare myself for everything that's going on. or that's about to happen. And all of a sudden, and the president just turns to me, and he says, all right, Nick, it's now at this time that we want to officially offer you to be sponsored to go to seminary, and then you will work for us upon graduation. On the outside of my face was like, but on the inside I was like, oh my gosh, 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 no way, no way. Like, after that sign that God had given me, like I knew that that was where God wanted me to go. Yeah, that's just the story of how like I got hired, and how like, so next August or something like that, I'm going to Andrews Seminary, and it's in Michigan. So I'll be there for 2 years, and then I'll be pastoring in Carolina right after that. So that's pretty crazy. I think the moral of the story is that one of the ways that we can hear God is, you know, just those thoughts that come to us that are not our own. The biggest thing first is like to say, God, like, help me hear you when you speak. And when we ask, then we receive. Like, I think that if God did it for me, he could do it for anybody. So yeah, that's the story for today. If you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. God bless you guys, and I'll see you later.